And so I think one of the mistakes all the metaverses have made is you get razzle-dazzled by the 3D stuff and not think hard enough about what it is specifically that people might want to do. And none of them are remotely likely to be successful until this gets solved, right? All the numbers, and by the way, this is also true of Meta. Meta's user numbers are also atrocious at Facebook scale. It's a couple 100,000 users, right? That's more than Om, but like not much more. Om's monthly numbers are tens of thousands. It's weird. It's only an order of magnitude more than Om, I think. Which is weird. Those are atrocious given that you're Facebook. And it's the same thing. It's not obvious which thing you're going to do on the internet that for sure works better in that context.
In this episode of Raoul Pal, the guest is popular non-fungible token collector Punk 6529. There's nothing more epic than a deep dive between Raoul and Punk 6529. Punk 6529, a popular pseudonymous figure in the crypto community and the primary driver of the memes project, has long argued NFTs expressing. Before going further in this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel. This head-spinning, follow-up conversation with one of our favorite interviewees of all time, they cover why and how of the open metaverse, the importance of memes, the impacts of AI, the meaning of life, and what the hell 6529 is up to. This is going to take a few listens to grasp the magnitude of it all. The metaverse is a digital universe. There's virtual reality that requires headsets to experience digital-only experiences like in the movie Ready Player One. Punk 6529 said on a recent podcast with Raoul Pal, CEO and co-founder Real Vision, a media platform. Augmented reality, where digital elements are layered over things in the real world, and mixed reality, where you can see the physical world but interact with virtual things, exhibiting potentially the most straightforward NFT collection naming we've seen recently. The Memes by 6529 is essentially an amalgamation of NFT memes curated by prominent thought leader and Web3 builder 6529. But while the collection may seem like an aimless mishmash of memes to some, it comes as an integral part of the 6529 and open metaverse brand. But even if you've never strapped on one of these virtual reality headsets, you may have already dipped a toe into the metaverse.
And I think it is, the reason I'm working a lot is I think it is a window of time opportunity where we can all make a difference in how the world evolves. It was not set in stone that Twitter would be a service. It could have been a protocol, and the world would have been better. It is not set in stone that the metaverse will be a Facebook project. It's not. It might end up being an open platform with NFTs as the ownership layer, and then Meta can have a metaverse application, and so can Disney, and so can Sony. I mean, think about this. Shouldn't Punk 6529 be in my wallet, and I can take him into Facebook's metaverse, and Disney's metaverse, and the BBC's metaverse, and Other Side, and all these other places? Yes, I think so. I think that's how it should be. I don't think Punk 6529 should be linked to only one person's application, right? Which is how it is now. And so this is this moment in time where we can maybe make that happen. And so the motivation and the energy comes from the fact that it sounds kind of absurd, and it might not be true, but I think it's true. Like, we can actually change history here, not just, hey, I'm going to work and doing a good job and having excellent professional development in my job and this type of stuff. You're not going to work all day and night for that, right? Like, I mean, professional development and accomplishment is, of course, very nice, but like, I'm far enough along in my career that I wouldn't work this hard just for that. Let's put it that way, right? Like, I don't need to work this hard just for professional development and accomplishment.
Punk 6529 is living the future today. At least the future, as the pseudonymous non-fungible token collector imagines it to be, where everyone has a digital avatar that slips into the metaverse as easily as a bird flies through the air. The metaverse could bounce back too. But for the moment, it's worth considering why excitement over it has tapered off. If it's a Facebook API or Apple API, it's going to be the same type of scenario that exists today, he said. Although Meta Platforms CEO Mark Zuckerberg said the metaverse his company is building will be interoperable, there's reason to doubt that. This year, Punk 6529, who takes his name from an eponymous CryptoPunk NFT, unveiled his own NFT fund, NFT museum, and started work on what he calls the open metaverse, a blueprint for an online city. Like many other early Bitcoin adopters, Punk 6529 has a background in tech and finance that informs his views on those subjects today and the importance of crypto. He believes the world is on a path dependence to persistent digital objects, or, in other words, is increasingly going digital.
Just to go back one sec, so you build this open metaverse. How do we get that to scale enough that it becomes the standard? Because that's the issue you've got to fight.
Right. So I think there is still this exercise. Before we get to scaling, we have to solve product market fit. Product market fit, you will know it when people are running in there voluntarily. I've always said no to like contests and prizes, and even I very deliberately, we haven't sold any land or anything, many of these ideas. All that would have turned into a bunch of financial speculation and would have distracted here from the actual problem, which is product market fit, which is why does anyone use this in the first place, right? It is one of these things, it's like early internet journeys of discovery.
Which makes me laugh because everyone, therefore, because there's no product market fit yet, everyone assumes it's stupid. And it's never going to work. So,
It's like early internet, right? Like we knew that all these things were going to happen. We just didn't know exactly how. We knew that video was going to come online. We didn't exactly know it was going to be YouTube, right? I mean, this was one of the things that I got wrong in the video era was this. I thought it would be more decentralized online. It turns out, all video online is basically YouTube and Netflix, and that's it. It's the bulk, the large majority of video online. It's weird. You would have thought it wouldn't be like that, but that's how it turned out to be. So we have to work on product market fit. And then to the question of scaling, you need a few things for this to scale, which are the following. I'm not willing to put any effort into scaling until it's decentralized, because we're just going to scale people into a centralized solution. And then it might be hard to switch them. So that's a necessary condition, not a sufficient one. The other one that is a big problem is the tooling for building the spaces is not easy enough now. It's still very manually intensive. It's still, if you come to me and say, oh, I want to build this cool whatever, all right, let's get some 3D architects and tell me your specs and send me designs and, let me go back to the designs and, this can't scale, right? And so we're going to need more automation. And by here, we is not we is the whole industry, right? And here, this is the power of open standards. I hope people will build tools that will make GLBs.
The nonprofit Linux Foundation has established the Open Metaverse Foundation to create the open source software and standards for an open metaverse. It's a digital environment that can be scaled up and that other people can build in without anyone controlling it. Although Punk 6529 has called this an investment in the public, he also believes that NFTs can one day be an $80 trillion category if all intangible goods move onto the blockchain. The mission of OMF is to foster a strong community of developers, engineers, academics, and thought leaders who will solve the difficult challenges of building the open metaverse through open-source software and open specifications that enable portability and interoperability for an open, global, scalable world, which supports interactive, immersive experiences for the benefit of any individual or industry.
Email works the same way, right? And often when I say this, people say, but there are large centralized email providers. And I say, yes, sure, that's true, but they're all running on the same public interoperable protocol called SMTP. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it's not just that there's alternatives to the big ones. The big ones behave better because there are alternatives to the big ones. So I use Gmail and I use Outlook. I think before that I've used Hotmail and Yahoo and all of these email services, right? Like I think everyone. What are things that you don't see in email? And this is the advantage of the protocol and the applications are different, right?
Yeah.
The advantages are you have more innovation, you have less rent seeking. And for people, that's kind of an economics term, and we sometimes use it and assume people understand. And then, I remember when I was a kid, I thought this meant like something about rental housing or something. Right? Like this was, what it means is that rent seeking means when someone has a way to extract value out of an ecosystem, let's say, right? And most successful businesses have some degree of this, right? It's all a matter of...
There's a metaverse for the rest of us. It's really just the next generation of the internet that's more about the immersion, said Consumer Technology Association's Brian Komisky. He says it's already part of our daily lives. If you've ever created an avatar or memoji, you're in the metaverse. Punk 6529 tweeted that, like email, you have no control over what people send to your public address, so you receive spam. My addresses receive a lot of spam NFTs from people who want to get my attention or want to trick others into thinking that I bought from those collections. What are your thoughts on Punk 6529 Open Universe? Do you think the metaverse attracts enough users and the tech is able to support further development and large spaces? Let us know in the comments section below. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to our channel. Also, make sure to turn on the notifications bell so you'll be informed of our future uploads. Until our next meeting.